Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today I have a very exciting one, and that's my first hands-on look at the refreshed 2025 Hyundai Tucson here in its fully loaded trim level. Now, if you guys have followed along and are subscribed here on the channel, you've probably seen some of my recent content covering the 2025 Tucson with, of course, the pricing, feature availability, and everything like that over the last several months. But today I finally have a look at the vehicle in person, which I am very excited about. Now, this one just so happens to be in the Rockwood Green exterior, which is newly available on the Tucson lineup, but did first debut on the 2024 Santa Fe, which you can see right over there. So definitely looks very sharp here in the limited with, the 19-inch wheels and the updated revised styling. Now, in terms of the 2025 model year, it's still based on the same generation Tucson as the previous ones. Does get updated styling, some updated technology, and most of the big changes are going to be on the interior, but there are going to be a handful of notable ones here on the exterior, which we'll cover here in today's video. So make sure you guys buckle up, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the fully loaded Tucson Limited gets you for the low $40,000 price point. So the Tucson in front of us is finished in the newly available Rockwood Green exterior with the black genuine leather on the inside. Now, if you guys have been familiar with the Tucson's lineup in the past, then you'll know the Limited has been the only way to get select features and options versus that of some of the lesser trim levels, such as the SEO Convenience and or XRT, and Hyundai does continue that trend for the refreshed 2025 model year. So, for example, if you're looking for the genuine leather seating surfaces, the 19-inch alloy wheels, the projector LED headlights, etc., that will unfortunately only be found on this top most fully loaded Limited, at least here in the regular gasoline-powered models, not including the hybrids compared to that of the 2024 and prior model years. Now, starting at the front end of every Tucson for this refresh, it does continue that every Tucson will come with full LED lighting for the headlights, daytime running lights, and turn signals. However, if you're looking for those projector headlights, that will again only be found on this Limited. Now, as you can see, as part of the refresh, Hyundai kind of changed the overall design while keeping it very, very similar to that of the pre-refresh models in terms of the hood design, the fenders and stuff like that. It's mainly going to be limited to the front bumper as well as the grille and the overall lighting setup. So now you can see there's going to be only 4 LED running lamps on each side of the front grille versus that of the 5 that was found in the previous generation. And overall, it gives it a slightly more muscular stance and a little bit more angular versus the rounded design that you would find on the older years of this particular generation. But as a whole, I think it looks very good. It kept a lot of the same features and amenities that really made the Tucson stand out here in the compact SUV segment. So at the front end, you will find those projector LED headlights, both low and high beam running lights, as well as the turn signals, all in that housing right there. Front, rear, and side parking sensors. You will have the 360 surround view camera system and of course the radar for the adaptive cruise control. It does introduce smart cruise control too with a little bit of additional functionality. And then you will have some nice kind of satin gray accent trim for both the middle section of the front bumper as well as that lower section down here. And then you will also have the dark accented chrome grille up top with, interestingly, the black Hyundai logo in the middle versus that of the regular silver that will come on some of those lower trim levels. So interesting design there that they made the logo black here on the Limited, but I think overall it does look very nice, especially here in this Rockwood Green exterior. Now, coming around to the side of this particular Tucson, you'll see the Limited still carries on with the regular textured black trim around the wheel arches, the lower door sections, and of course continuing on to the rear bumper as well. Now, coming into these wheels and tires, like I mentioned, this is the only trim now, at least for the regular gasoline Tucson, where you get the larger 19-inch alloy wheels with a machined and kind of very dark gunmetal graphite finish insert. It is going to be wrapped in a very similar 235/55 19-inch Michelin Primacy AS all-season tire versus that of the pre-refresh models. You can see a very nice all-season tread, and I really do like this tire as the option with the larger wheels. Coming up top, you do have paint matched mirror caps with the LED turn signal integration, cameras on the bottom for the 360 surround view camera system, and some nice silver accent trim that of course wraps into the actual belt line around the window trim itself. You can see, of course, it does have the panoramic power sunroof with the nice gloss black side roof rails if you want to add the additional roof racks or crossbars for a little bit of additional carrying capacity. Coming to the door handles, these are going to be body color with a little bit of a revision in terms of its proximity touch type entry. Of course, it does have Digital Key 2.0 Premium, which is the nicest version of the Hyundai Digital Key technology. So it will support Android and iOS devices, in terms of near field communication, as well as Bluetooth Low Energy and ultra wideband technology. So you don't actually have to touch the door handle with your device to unlock it. You simply need to be, within about a foot or two, and it will automatically detect your device and unlock or lock the vehicle, depending on what your command is to it of itself. You have tinted rear windows, of course, some nice gloss black B and C pillar trim, and that unique signature silver element that wraps across the entire roof line that, of course, we saw on the 2022 and onward models. Now, one other thing I forgot to mention is you do, of course, have blind spot detection as standard, and of course, the mirrors are going to be heated. Now, coming out back, you will find very similar design language to that of the pre-refresh models, with just some tweaks to the lower bumper itself. So you have LED lighting in terms of the brake lights and running lights up top, and then your turn signals and reverse lights are going to be located a little bit lower on the bumper, and you can see they tweak that section of the rear bumper just a little bit in terms of its overall design, but they are going to be located here at the bottom section of the bumper, which I know some people are a little bit concerned about and don't particularly like. You do have the rear parking sensors and side parking sensors back here, and that same kind of satin graphite silver trim that wraps across the lower section. Nice flat Tucson logos. I really do like this. I think it's a huge upgrade in terms of the overall design and aesthetic. There's the backup camera H-Track badge to tell you that this one is going to be all-wheel drive, and a newly revised H logo underneath the actual glass. You can see it's a nice smooth finish, looks very, very clean, very modern. I like that change that they implemented here as well. And I believe they also did make the rear wiper underneath the spoiler slightly larger and have a larger sweep versus that of the pre-refresh models as well. So in theory, you should have a little bit of additional coverage with that wiper that's hidden underneath the glass to kind of clean it off if it gets dirty or has snow and ice buildup or whatnot. But that's a look at the exterior of the refresh. You guys have to let me know down in the comment section below what you think of this particular Tucson, the color combination, etc. But as a whole, I think it looks very, very nice. And as you can see, there are some lower trim levels of the 25 Tucson here in the background. So make sure you guys stay tuned here on the channel over the next several days, as we will be covering those. But let's go ahead and take a look at the window stickers so you guys know exactly how this one is equipped, and then we'll jump onto the interior. So take a look at the window sticker. The Tucson Limited is the most fully loaded version of the Tucson that you can get, but they did add a few additional options and features over that of the pre-refresh model. So you have the heads-up display, the fingerprint recognition, as well as all of that improved technology such as Digital Key 2.0. You have the dual 12-inch displays. You still have heated and ventilated front seats, Bose premium audio system, etc. The list really goes on. This is a very nice version of the Tucson. This one does have a few additional accessories on it, which brings the total MSRP, including destination, to $41,710. So take a look on the interior. Like I said, this one has the black leather interior, but gray is going to be available as well, depending on the exterior color that you do choose. Starting out here on the door panel, you can see the overall design is going to be very similar to that of the 2024 and previous years, with just a few slight tweaks. So up top, you do have a soft touch kind of textured material with this nice cloth insert that runs across into the dashboard. This section in particular does stand out as being slightly different, with kind of the faux accent stitching that of course runs into your two-person memory seats, which now includes the mirror position, heads-up display, as well as the actual seat itself in terms of its memory functionality versus that of the other ones that I believe just included the seat memory. You still have the nice gloss black plastic trim around the window switches with the padded armrest and accent stitching. Now, one other small item I did notice is the actual window controls do feel different, or shaped slightly different, a little bit more tactile feeling, which I really do appreciate, but still are going to be full power windows, mirrors, and locks with the automatic front two windows, which is a nice feature to have. Nice silver accent door handle pull, good amount of lower door storage, and then still does have the Bose premium audio system on this particular vehicle. There's the nice silver accented Tucson door sill plate. And then coming to the driver's seat is going to be a power design with two-way power lumbar, some nice gray accent piping, and of course that perforated leather material with the silver accent at the top. The overall seat design does not look much different, but as you can see, the dashboard and center console is going to be very, very changed. So here in the interior of the Tucson, this is where most of the changes did occur for this refresh, and overall it looks much, much improved. So starting in front of the driver, you're going to find the dual 12.3-inch displays with the similar but different overall UI theme to that of some of the other recent Hyundai models, such as the Santa Fe, the updated Sonata, etc. You can see you do have your digital speedometer on the left, your tachometer on the right, a configurable cluster in the middle, and then of course your odometer over there, and you know, all of your other physical controls, which, like I said, we have seen on other Hyundai models. Now, to the left of the cluster, there is your newly available fingerprint recognition, which we first saw here on the Santa Fe here in the United States. That does now trickle down here to the most fully loaded Tucson Limited, and I'm sure we will see that roll out to other models in the future as well. Now, one other item you might have noticed is the facial sensor here above the steering column. This is the, again, similar technology to that of the Santa Fe, which monitors your face while using some of the driver assistance technologies, just to make sure everything is okay inside the vehicle and that you are paying attention. Now, this does include a little bit of additional enhanced technology that, while using Smart Cruise Control 2, it will automatically pull the vehicle over in a safe manner to hopefully keep you safe if by chance you are drowsy, distracted, have a medical condition, something like that that prevents you from operating the vehicle. Hopefully it will keep you safe and, you know, bring the vehicle to complete stop and hopefully alert others. Now, already out there, you can see this vehicle does have the heads-up display, being the Limited. And again, this is the first time on a Tucson that we've been able to get a heads-up display here in North America. Full color design, some configurability, which again, we will cover in some future videos here on the channel. But overall, very, very nice to see that feature. Now, coming back to the steering wheel, this is going to be a leather-wrapped steering wheel that is going to be heated, which is very nice. It has the updated design, which we've seen on other recent models, such as the Kona and Sonata in particular. 4-dot logo on the airbag cover. Your cruise control, lane follow assist, and the gauge cluster controls are going to be found on the left side. On the right side, you have your audio, multimedia, Bluetooth, as well as voice commands. And the back side does feature the silver accent paddles for the 8-speed automatic transmission. Does have automatic headlights with auto high beam assist, and there's going to be the auto rain sense wiper stalk. Now, coming below that, you'll see another new design feature to the Tucson family, and that is going to be the electronic gear shift, which has rolled out to the Kona, Santa Fe, Sonata, and those other updated models very recently, which essentially frees up the center console, which, as you can see, has changed quite a bit in overall design. Now, this will vary depending on which trim that you do get. The shift-by-wire ones are going to be much different versus that of the traditional gear shift, which do have a similar version to the older models, but still gain a lot of the updated controls. Again, we will have future videos here on the channel showing you some of those key differences. Now, to the left of the steering wheel, you have your gauge dimming, power trunk, traction control off, as well as electronic parking brake, silver accent trim around this kind of faux accent cloth material that matches the doors. It's actually not the same material, but does match in terms of visual appearance pretty darn well. The AC vent is pretty low here to the left of the steering wheel, so that is something I'm kind of noticing firsthand. And the dashboard layout is pretty low as well. And I like overall how they have implemented these center displays into the actual dash instead of sticking up pretty high above them. Now, coming over here to the main head unit, this is the 12.3-inch display. As you can tell, looks very similar to that of other recent updated Hyundai models. It is the full CCNC system with built-in navigation, and finally, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay from the factory. So if you've been looking for a Tucson with navigation and wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you finally have one here with the 2025 model year. I know it's like hallelujah, but they finally implemented it here as part of the refresh. Now, of course, it still supports Sirius XM, AM, FM, Bluetooth, USB inputs as well. It has BlueLink Plus technology, which is free for the lifetime of the first owner. And overall, I have videos here on the channel explaining this display in a little bit more detail. Of course, push button start. You have the newly available physical controls here down below for both the head unit as well as the climate controls. Heated and ventilated seats. You have a 2-stage heated steering wheel, and we have seen a very similar climate control display in the Sonata as well as the Santa Fe. So, you know, this isn't new, but it is going to be new for the Tucson. And overall, I like the fact that they brung back the physical controls for this vehicle with the volume and tune knobs and then all of the shortcuts. I think that is one of the biggest items that I criticized in the previous model years of this vehicle, and finally they have kind of fixed them here with this one. Now, you do have a fairly open center console with that shift-by-wire system. Good amount of storage down below with USB-C data and charge ports. Of course, there's the 12-volt outlet. Down below here, there's really not much else but some storage space, so it is a little bit kind of hard to access, but nice to see it's kind of that nice floating design. We have your center differential lock to send power 50-50 front and rear, drive mode selection. So we have Snow, My Drive, Sport, as well as normal drive modes. And as you can see, the digital cluster theme does change quite a bit with the two different, multiple different drive modes that you can select between. There you can see the animations are extremely smooth, and the Sport looks very, very nice indeed. Automatic vehicle hold, engine stop start on off, hill descent control, 360 cameras, as well as your parking sensors on off. So if we pull up 360 cam, it will give you the augmented reality view. So you can scroll around the Tucson right there and see what is in your surroundings. Wireless charging pad, as well as Hyundai digital keypad down here. Here's the proximity key fob with remote start, as well as your remote smart park assist buttons on the side. Nice soft touch padded armrest. Good amount of storage inside. No lights or ports, unfortunately. Up top, we do get the lighter color headliner with LED illumination for the vanity. You can see it is a nice cool white LED there. Auto dimming interior rearview mirror with garage home link. Blue Link SOS overhead LED illumination. There's the power sunroof as well as the power shade controls. This is really unchanged from the previous generation panoramic power sunroof, and it does open quite far, and I like that one aspect of the Tucson versus that of some of the other, more traditional compact SUV sunroofs. But overall, that's a quick look here at the front seat. Let's go ahead and take a look out back. So take a look at the back seat. Most of the space and overall physical area is going to be unchanged, but again, we do have some slight tweaks to the door panel design. So take a look at the door panel. It is hard touch upper. We have the same kind of faux accent stitching and cloth insert down below. Gloss black around the window and heated rear seat controls with a padded armrest. You do get 3-stage heated outboard seats, storage down below, and of course you do have that Bose audio that I mentioned. The seats do recline via those levers on the left and right hand side, and there's going to be the same overall seat as the previous versions of the Tucson. Now stepping inside, step-in is very easy given the shape and overall height. There's a look at the newly refreshed dashboard. And out back, we do still have the AC vents, USB-C charging that was formerly USB-A. We have nets on both of the two front seats, and then a center armrest with the seat back recline there. Two more cup holders down here, and then you can see the overall LED output is on the cooler side, so it's definitely more of a bright white or cool white versus that of warm white, which I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate. But room back here is very good indeed. That's my rough driving position with many inches to spare. Tons of footroom down below, and headroom, of course, is not going to be an issue either. So yeah, back seats fairly unchanged. Still have a lot of nice amenities like the updated USB ports. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at the trunk area. So take a look at the cargo area. Of course, a power tailgate is going to be standard on the SEL trim level and higher. And out back behind these second row seats, you do have a good amount of overall storage capacity. This has been one of the larger compact SUVs currently available on the market. You can see the nice large box there for the all-weather liners. LED lighting here on the left side of the trunk, a 12-volt outlet. You can fold the seat backs down via these levers on the left and right-hand side. Subwoofer is mounted on the passenger side of the vehicle, and then below you do have the temporary spare tire with additional storage space, and of course a roadside toolkit will likely be found down there as well. And overall, there's really not much to report here in the trunk or cargo area of the vehicle. There's a look underneath if anybody is curious. Multi-link independent rear suspension. But yeah, as a whole, pretty similar here in the trunk space with just some slight revisions. Now take a look here at the passenger front seat. You still do have a power passenger seat. Unfortunately, no power lumbar, but it does include height adjustment. And there's going to be a look at the seats themselves. And here on the passenger side of the dashboard, it is going to be revised once again to include a very large cubby. I mean, that is a very usable space indeed. A little bit unfortunate maybe that there's not a USB port up here for charging, but you do still have the nice glove box, LED illumination and size, good usable space, and the vents are, a little bit on the narrower side, but I like overall how they've kind of streamlined the design of the interior. So that's a look at the inside of the refreshed Tucson. Let's go ahead and pop the hood and see what powers this particular vehicle, and then go ahead and wrap up this video. So under the hood of every gasoline-powered Tucson, you can find the same 2.5-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder of that of the previous model years, putting out 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque, either the front wheels only or all four wheels, through an 8-speed automatic transmission. So As a whole, this is going to be mostly a carryover. I'm sure there's going to be some slight revisions to the powertrain, particularly on the hybrid trim levels, not so much here on the gasoline powered vehicles. But if you are familiar with the recent Tucsons, you should be familiar with this vehicle. MPG has been tweaked slightly across the board by about 1 MPG, both in the city as well as out on the highway, likely to do some of those design revisions that they did to the aerodynamics, the wheels, etc. So if you compare that to a previous model year, they likely will be very similar, but maybe tweaked slightly. So that's going to do it here for my first hands-on look at the refreshed 2025 Hyundai Tucson Limited. I'm extremely excited to have an early first hands-on look at this particular vehicle. I know out over the last several months I've been covering this vehicle, and you know, I've said it was delayed at some point, and it was ended up being delayed, but I think it got delayed less than originally anticipated. So if you have been on the lookout and waiting for the refreshed Tucsons, they're hitting dealership lots as we speak. And as we film this video, some people are actually looking at some of the white ones that I showcased earlier. So, you know, chances are they are at your local dealership, but 2024s are still arriving alongside these 2025 models. So if there's particular color combinations, you know, trims that you're looking for, chances are availability will be fairly limited at first, at least over the first few weeks, and will likely become much more greater as we go into September, you know, and October, as the hybrids start to come from overseas, and, you know, 2024s are completely out of the pipeline. But this one that I'm sitting in was built July 16th, so just about 3 weeks ago from when I'm actually filming this video. Sure, it's a pretty early production unit, and I'm glad I'm able to see the limited hands-on first, because this is the one that obviously has the most equipment, has the newly available heads-up display, and overall I think is a very popular option if you're shopping for a compact SUV, want all these features and amenities for, you know, that $41,000 to $42,000 price point. So you guys will have to let me know down in the comment section below what you think of this updated design on the exterior and certainly on the inside. I think the inside is one of the main reasons why I would recommend this 25 over that of the 2024, just because you get a, you know, more physical buttons and controls for the HVAC and the infotainment system. I think just having a volume knob is extremely nice, and then all of those you know, physical buttons. Sure, you still have the small touchscreen for the heated seats and, you know, some of the other HVAC, but again, it's much better than that of a you know, 2024 design. And I really do like the center console layout as well, with your smartphone right here, kind of where you rest your hand in your palm. The floating design I think looks aesthetically better. And one thing that I'm noticing just sitting here now, getting into my, you know, approximate driving position, is that my knee has a ton of open space in front of the center console area just before the climate control. So if you like to kind of spread your legs out or have longer legs, this might be the one to get, just due to the floating center console design, which gives you a little bit more open space underneath the actual steering wheel and stuff itself. But make sure you guys subscribe, stay tuned here on the channel. I will have a ton more content coming here on the 2025 model year of this vehicle over the next, you know, days or weeks as I'm able to film it, because this is going to be one that I think it'll do Hyundai very well, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are very excited for in and of itself. So let me know which videos you want to see on the Tucson coming here over the next few weeks. I will try my best to do them, and of course, you know, I appreciate the continued support here on the channel. So if you guys enjoyed this video and or found it helpful, make sure to hit that like button below, subscribe if you haven't already, and you know, check out some other videos I have upcoming on the 2025 Tucson, and of course other makes and models as they hit dealership lots. I'm excited to film it, but it is going to be a very busy, you know, couple weeks, if not a couple months here in the fall time frame. But usually is when new vehicles or new updated products are released out on the market. So I'm kind of up for it. Hopefully going to make it. I'm kind of up for it and excited for everything that these new vehicles have to offer. But anyways, as always, I appreciate continued support here on the channel. And as always, hope to see you guys in the next one.